When Rolex first released the Cosmograph, or Cosmograph Daytona as we know it now, it was not met with immediate fanfare. In fact, it was a relatively unpopular model. But today, models like this, the reference 6263, even the Zenith Movement 16520, these are considered classics and they are very, very expensive. Now, before we go any further, I need to clarify, just because a watch is on this list doesn't necessarily mean that I like it or I want one. I just think in 20, 30 years, these are watches we will look back at with nostalgia and think, ooh, that was such a classic. I should try to find one of these. For defining modern, we're going to keep it to the last 10 years. That seems fair. Thank you for your viewership, and comment down below a watch that you think will be a future classic. There is a lot of competition in the integrated bracelet sports watch category, and I truly think the Chopard Alpine Eagle is underrated. If you hold this next to a Vacheron Constantin Overseas or a Patek Philippe Nautilus, this really holds its own ground, despite being a fraction of the price at retail and far more affordable going secondary. Now, for clarity, I'm not saying 13,000 pounds or about 15,000 US dollars is cheap for a time-telling device. It's not. But I would say in terms of case finishing, wearing experience, and movement, this holds up against the Holy Trinity, and a lot of people write this off too quickly. A lot of people don't even consider it. So Ming is a brand that I have a real soft spot for. They seem to zig when everyone else zags. They have no interest in inventing false heritage to sell watches. They have a really unique identity, and they really captured a moment for me personally during the pandemic. I think watches like the 1801 H41 DLC Diver will be future classics. The Breguet Marine is not what typically comes to mind when you think of Breguet. And I think that's exactly what's going to make it a future classic. They're really odd, and I see why they are unpopular. Like, the dial is unbalanced, the use of Roman numerals on a diver. I think it'll be something that people didn't like now, but weirdly like in the future. I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. So this almost feels like a cheater prediction because the JLC Polaris is already really well loved by watch enthusiasts. But the reason I think it will be a classic is because I think a lot of people will look back and think, why didn't I buy this as my diver? I think people will look back fondly, maybe with a slight twinge of regret for not getting something different. It's a really refined, clean diver that is still incredibly capable. I feel like I'm just looking for different things in general at the moment, which is why we need to talk about IFL, today's fabulous video sponsor, and their newest drop. So this is the Citizen Soyotza puzzle collection in 37mm, and here is the 40mm variation. These have just been launched by IFL today, October 6th, and these are incredibly limited, only 200 pieces worldwide per model. IFL is all about creating wearable pieces of art. It's about making something distinct and different with a playful touch, and these are no different. This makes a puzzle dial motif actually achievable for us mere mortals on an already fantastic watch. Set against the Citizen Soyotza, both models have a case material of stainless steel, 50 meters of water resistance, and both powered by the caliber 8210 automatic movement with 42 hours of power reserve. The only real big difference is the size, with the 37mm wearing a little bit more classical and the 40mm being more modern proportions. But you know, the real big selling feature, the big distinct thing about IFL is the dial. Both are hand painted by the fabulous artists over at IFL, with the 37mm available in a soft pastel pink and the 40mm on turquoise blue. These are $890 USD, and they are live right now. If you want to go check these out, or any other IFL, go click the link that is in my description. It will take you over to their website, and let them know that I sent you. These are super limited, so if you like these, make sure you go click that link, don't miss out, and thank you so much to IFL for sponsoring this video. Okay, so this is a real oddball for Tudor, and that's exactly the allure. This doesn't look like your typical Tudor watch. It was an entire new line, introduced in 2015 and was discontinued in 2021. A very short run, was a significant watch, debuting Tudor's first in-house caliber, the MT 5621, and their first sports watch with a display case back. This was technically inspired by the Tudor Ranger and the British North Greenland expedition, but honestly, it feels like its own separate thing. Very modern, weird, and an important moment for Tudor. Moser is so great at capturing a moment and creating something cheeky and fun, but still very, very capable. This streamliner, for me, is the quintessential Moser. Minimal, but still very weird and identifiable, signature fume dial. The bracelet wraps perfectly to the wrist. It's a very cool choice. Very expensive though. I should have said already, the price points in this video are going to be all over the shop. It's not about cheap collectibles. This video is about watches you will look back on in the year 2065 and think, ooh, what a time to be alive. I'm going to go on Chrono24 or whatever the equivalent is at that time. Watchesontheweb.net. What? If there is a watch that has been through some distinct eras, it's the Overseas. So its heritage dates back to the 222 and was meant to be the clear successor of that family. The first generation of the Overseas was from 1996 to 2004. I actually really like these. Then was the awkward teenager phase. Let's not talk about that. The specific era that I think will be future classics is the third generation, launched in 2016 and is the current design code. I think this is the perfect iteration of the Overseas. No notes from me, and I think more people should be buying these. Okay, I don't know if this is common knowledge and I somehow missed it, but it kind of seems like Omega is quietly discontinuing the Plo Prof. I was on their website because I wanted to read up on the ridiculous mesh bracelet I associate with the Plo Prof, like normal people do on a Friday night, but only the summer blue seems to be available. Is this common knowledge? How did I miss this? I've always had a weird love affair with the Plo Prof. I feel like I am known for complaining about watches being too big, and I usually feel that way about watches. I largely feel that way. Pun intended. But I also have a soft spot for obnoxiously large watches that are garish and huge, and that's kinda a part of the charm. The Plo Prof is the tooliest of all Omegas. It's mostly just ridiculous, and I think the people of the future will love it for that reason. Talking about FP Journe on a list like this is annoying on a few different levels. For one, they're very, very expensive. For two, they're also hard to get. And for three, they're an obvious thing to say. But I can't, in good conscience, not have them on here. They are already highly collectible, but even entry-level pieces like the chronometer Souverain will be grails in 30 years' time. I think my husband has one of the best future collectibles, in my humble opinion. The chronometer Souverain rose gold Havana dial. It's so good. A lot of people ask me how I was able to get my Elegant. It's a very hard watch to get at retail, and a huge part of that, the reason I was allocated this or was able to even put my name forward for one, is because my husband bought a chronometer Souverain. This just wouldn't be offered to me as a first Journe. Fortunately, he wanted the CS anyways, so I was able to slide in there. But yeah, I mean, FP Journe is one of the greatest living watchmakers, probably my favorite, so I couldn't not include him. Okay, we have had a lot of ridiculous watches on this list, so let's end this video by coming back down to earth. One of my favorite Seiko releases of the last decade was the Rowing Blazers collaboration, and if you made me choose one specific model, just one, it's this checkerboard beauty. I don't know if it's because I was an emo kid and I wore those checkered Vans. I don't know why I love this so much, but it makes me so happy. Great collaboration. I look for these regularly on Chrono24. I've personally never seen one come up, but I hope to own one of these one day. Some other notable mentions that didn't get their whole section, but I think they deserve a shout out. The Moser Endeavor, so cool, I just didn't think it was strong enough to get its whole own section. The Rolex Milgauss, it's always tempting to put on a discontinued Rolex, but honestly, the Milgauss just never fully had its moment. Next, the Moonswatch. I think the Moonswatch captured a moment and it will be very collectible in the future, but still not strong enough for its whole own section. And the AP Royal Oak Offshore. I've just got a weird thing for the offshore. But anyways, guys, that's just my list of modern watches that I think will be classics. Did I miss anything big? I don't know. Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you to IFL for sponsoring this video. And thank you to the patrons, the fabulous patrons of this channel. Their names should be on the screen right now. Oh, my back hurts. I feel like I'm sitting a weird way. That is one of the oldest outros I've ever had. Complaining that my back hurts. But it does. It's factually accurate. Thank you so much to the names on this screen. It's not about me. I always find a way to make it about me. What a narcissist. It's about you. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying the work we do here. I love making these videos. I hope you keep enjoying watching them. But even if you don't, I hope you love watches forever. They're fabulous. You're fabulous. Bye, guys.